Well, hi, I'm Darren Berger, the Housing Redevelopment Manager for the City of Anoka H.R.A., and I'm joined with my Vice Chairman, Dave Bontius, and my counterpart from Coon Rapids, Kristen DeGrant. As you know, the H.R.A. has recently added a grant program, the C.A.R.E Repeal Residential Enhancement Program, grant program, to our list of other loans that we currently offer to our residents. This grant is actually intended to pay a portion of the costs for these home improvements that enhance our home's C.A.R.E repeal. And today I'm just really here to kind of get through our 163 applications. We are not picking that many today, but we will pick the first 20, and those folks will be the folks that are awarded our grants. Then we will pick an additional 30 for a waiting list, and if folks are deemed ineligible after this event, or if they decide that they don't want to move through with it or go through with it, or whatever the case may be, we will then move down our waiting list and reach out to the folks that are on that. So I guess we can kind of start, and we'll maybe just chat a little during this, so we're not just reading names to you all day, but yeah, and I guess I could really just quickly run through kind of the program itself. So the H.R.A. funded this program to $100,000, and each grant is $1,000 minimum to $5,000 maximum per household. 1 to 4 units, owner occupied, are eligible. Tax value has to be under $350,000. Current on your property taxes, all those types of things. Some projects, and it's a 25% grant if it's a beautification project, which is front door, exterior lighting, columns at the front door, a covered front porch, permanent landscaping, anything with your driveway or sidewalk, anything like that. And then a 15% grant would be optional projects, which would be like roof, siding, painting, soffit, fascia, trim, that kind of thing. Deck, anything that can be visible from the front of the house. Yeah, so here we are. I guess we can go, and Dave, I will ask you to do the honors and pick our first grant recipient.
Okay, could I say one thing first?
Yes, please do.
Again, I've seen Kristen's name on so many things as the H.R.A. has dealt with this, but a big thank you to Kristen and her staff and the folks at Coon Rapids. They've been involved with this for how many years, Kristen?
Well, it depends what this is.
Yeah, okay. I mean, but this
yeah.
particular kind of program.
Yeah, we in Coon Rapids we've offered the front door. We call it the front door grant program, but it's essentially the same program. We like to share it with other communities who are interested and have the means of doing so.
Which we appreciate.
Yeah, absolutely. But this is our 4th year of the front door grant program, and since we initiated the program 4 years ago. And it was also similar. It was a pilot program at the time, because we had no idea what the reception was going to be from the community. We were overwhelmed with the reception. It's such a great program. Obviously, we continue to offer it, but since that time, the cities of Blaine and Fridley have also replicated the program as well. So in Anoka County, it's certainly getting traction and becoming very popular, and it's a great way of increasing C.A.R.E appeal in communities that are mostly fully developed. So in our aging homes, we need to do what we can to motivate people and incentivize them to be doing these exterior improvements. And I know it was important for our board and our council that to these exterior programs, and the reason why we had offered grants instead of loans or deferred loans as we do for some of our other programs, is that when people are fixing up the outside of your home, it impacts the whole community, it impacts the whole neighborhood. And so in that way, it benefits everybody. So that's why the council was very supportive of making it a grant program, as I'm sure you guys too, when you approved this, I think in March. Because it doesn't just benefit the one homeowner, it benefits the whole community.
Absolutely.
Again, thank you, but like I say, I think our H.R.A. under Darren's guidance has benefited greatly from what they learned from you, and we appreciate the support also from Fridley and Blaine and so on, the other communities that have done it. So
We like to share.
okay, are you ready? You're gonna keep count, I presume?
Yes, I will keep track for you.
As a math major, I don't do much counting anymore. Okay.
All right, so you're looking for the first recipient here?
Yes, first recipient.
Are we doing addresses or names?
We're gonna do, actually, I was gonna go by names, but I think address would probably be best, because then those folks would, you know, be
Yeah,
able
I
to.
think addresses would be fine.
Yes.
First,
So-
Marie and Tim
No,
Philippines.
just do the addresses, actually.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep.
3202 Sprague Avenue.
Okay, and just, maybe get the microphone a little bit closer just to make
Okay.
sure the,
I'll have to leave it for.
all right,
Thank you.
sure.
1708 Second Avenue. (3329) Shasta Avenue.
Kind of fun to hear these different, street names I'm not used to hearing.
828 Birch Street.
And I do intend to step up our technology of our selection for next year.
Well, thank you.
But yeah,
Well, that's exactly what we do, we literally pull addresses
Yeah.
out of the glass full. So, I mean, we need, you know, in trying to be as transparent as
Right.
possible.
right.
Because, you know, some people
Well,
are a little bit more skeptical about
That's
how
right.
these things happen, so.
And that's why I wanted to
Yeah,
do
that's-
this on camera
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
society today. So.
Yeah.
922 Madison Street. 428 Fremont Street.
And that's number 6.
Yes.
And number 7 is
1424 Oakwood Drive. (2507) Maple Avenue. (1150) Black Oaks Court. 1150, 1150. (3740) Edith Patch Drive.
I will say, as I've been getting the applications in, I've definitely noticed that it is not just one neighborhood, it is not just one block, it is all over the city, which was very encouraging. I was hoping that it would definitely try and touch all the little corners of our community. And as you can hear from these first 10, that's definitely a wide range of our city
Yes.
there, so that's
I mean,
good.
I don't know every single address and street, but I also know that, yeah,
Right.
already with 10, it's pretty widespread.
Right.
So Darren, how was it that, that homeowners found out about the program?
So initially, we sent out, we have kind of a listserv that everyone who received, or who chooses to receives emails from the city. Those folks got an email first, that first morning, just because it was kind of automated, and I talked to our communications person, Pam Bowman, and she had set that up for right away in the morning to go out. So I got a couple right away, and then later on that day, later on that afternoon, a Facebook post went out, and all of a sudden it was a spike, and I saw more and more coming in. And I actually texted her and said, "Looks like the Facebook post just went out, because yeah, there's definitely my email box is dinging." So so we got quite a few then, and then we had a steady stream, pretty much a few a day, until I think actually it was a week before the deadline, which was on April 26th. So April 19th, I had her send out another Facebook post that went out to folks, and just reminder, that 1 week left to apply, and I got a ton that day too. So that was actually definitely our best way to get the word out. We had mentioned it in other publications and on our reader board here on Main Street, a few other places like that, but it ended up going out in the paper in a little blurb. So there was a few different ways, but Facebook by far was you could tell, it was kind of the most traffic was coming from that, and word of mouth really. You know, if you see it on Facebook and then you're talking to your neighbor the next day, hey, by the way, you know, the city's offering this, so.
Well, I know you guys were working under a pretty tight timeline too. I mean, the board just approved it in what, middle of March?
Yep.
Yes.
So, quick turnaround.
Right.
Obviously, you wanna make sure you get as many of those improvements done during this construction year.
Yeah.
And that was a big reason why we kind of had a short application period, and then
Yeah.
now we'll have kind of a shorter deadline for bids. Bids are due June 17th, and then we hope to have all the contracts signed with each of the recipients by July 17th, 1 month later. So, yeah, we definitely want to take advantage of this construction season and make sure that people can get these projects done this year.
Should we get back to pulling some addresses?
Okay,
Yeah,
I
let's
think
do
this is
number
number
11.
11, 1917 State Avenue. $3730 East Mineral Pond Boulevard. $2320 6th Avenue. $570 McKinley Street. $544 Harrison Street. $2624 Yellowstone Boulevard. $2826 9th Lane. $3912 10th Avenue.
And we just have 2 more before the wait list?
Yep,
I think so.
19 and 20 are coming up here.
733 Jefferson Street. And 903 South Street.
All right. Well, that is our initial 20 awardees for our C.A.R.E grant program here. I'll be in contact with everybody tomorrow. I'm sending out a mailing to each of these folks, notifying them of next steps, and obviously that they've been awarded the grant. And then from there, they'll need to get me the bids, and we can kind of move through the process that way. And let's see here.
And as part of that email, I know we haven't talked about this, but will you be providing potentially a link to the North Suburban Home Show exhibitor list as some ideas?
That is actually a really good call, and yes, so we really aren't, you know, we can't just pick out of a hat or pick people that we work with. That's, you know, potential issue there, but we do have our North Suburban Home Show, which we are on the committee together. We have a list of all the exhibitors at that home show, and so if anyone comes in to ask here at the city, and I know at the city of Coon Rapids, that's generally what we give them. You know, here's a list of the exhibitors that were at our home show this year, and a lot of times it's repeat exhibitors, so we know that they've done a lot of work in the area and reputable contractors. So yes, so if anybody is looking for contractors, that is a good call. We'll have that linked to our website, on the HRA website, where you found the application for the program. So thanks for that.
Thank you, Kristen.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, it's, yeah, like Darren said, at Coon Rapids, we never refer or recommend contractors, but homeowners are always asking for ideas or resources. And so we certainly do provide that link to many people who are looking for contractors. And at least if it's, you know, if it's a contractor that is part of our North Suburban Home Show that we have every year, at least, you know, homeowners should feel confident knowing that they are licensed and insured, and obviously committed to working in the North Metro area, being that they do pay to have a booth at the event and spend a Saturday with us at the home show up at the Andover YMCA every year to kind of help promote their businesses. So it's a great resource, just one option. Again, we never require homeowners to
No.
work with any particular contractor. It's completely up to you, as long as they're licensed.
Yes. All right, and
Are you
with
ready for the
that,
next batch?
yeah, let's go
Okay.
to the first one on the waiting list.
440 Taylor Street.
Okay.
4005, 4005, 8th Lane. .637 School Street. .3510 Placer Avenue.
3510 Placer Avenue, okay.
Slow me down if I'm going too fast.
No, that's right.
550 West Main Street. .1003 Adams Street. .741 Monroe Street. .627 Grant Street. .915 Benton Street. .3775 East Mineral Pond Boulevard.
And again, right now, they're just looking to, or they're pulling the names or addresses for the wait list for the grant program.
That's the first 10, I believe.
That's the first 10, so now we're
First
at
10.
30, and we'll pull an additional 20 for the wait list.
And I will
Nine-
just, I'm sorry.
No, no,
Josh.
go ahead,
I will
please.
just note that, I know that Anoka is gonna be different than Coon Rapids, but, and every year is different even for the program that we've had so far. So in the 4 years that we've offered the program, the first year we did not have a waiting list, just because we just didn't know what to expect and we didn't develop one.
Oh, good job.
But we have every year since then, and there are always people that do cancel out of the program for various reasons. They just decide that you can't afford to pay their portion of the cost of the project, because the grant only pays for up to 25% of the cost of the project. That obviously leaves at least 75% for the homeowner to pay for. So sometimes they can't afford it, sometimes they just decide, there's a job issue, maybe their job is insecure, or for whatever reason, there's always somebody who backs out. Obviously, there's never a guarantee as to, who will back out, or how many people will back out, or how many people from the wait list will be activated, but we've always been able to activate, several people from the wait list, so. But again, every city is different, every year is different, every applicant is different.
Right.
So no guarantees, but just thought I'd put that out there.
Yeah, that's a good point. I already had someone call me and just inquire, if I'm chosen, am I required to take this grant, or, and I said, no, absolutely, this is completely voluntary, so don't worry about that.
Actually, clarification though, for your program, are you doing enough grants to fill is it $100,000?
Yes.
So you don't know, like, for instance, the 20 that you pulled to be recipients.
Right,
The chances of them using the full maximum amount are
Exactly.
very slim.
exactly.
So you will be activating some people, just even if no one cancels their application,
Yep,
because
absolutely.
they just, maybe there are some people that just didn't use the full maximum amount.
Right, because it
Okay.
is a $1,000 minimum, $5,000 maximum.
Okay.
And each of these projects still need to kind of get flushed out here, so I went with assuming that everybody would take the maximum to basically go for the first 20, which
Okay.
would put us at our $100,000 budget. And then we are pulling an additional 30.
Gotcha.
And so if, people don't use the maximum, or if people decide not to take the grant, we will work through this waiting list, and then from there, if I would get past the 50, then we would do another drawing, basically with the remaining
Okay.
folks that are.
Well, that
applied.
explains why you have such a long wait, or how so many people on the wait list, because when we just pull 80 recipients,
Mhm.
you know, we're a bigger city, we have a bigger
Sure.
budget,
Mhm.
but we have 80 recipients, and it's not based on dollar amount.
Right,
So it's like, if somebody backs out, then we activate one person, it's not based on what their grant amount
Right.
is.
Sure.
right,
Cause otherwise, I would be pulling my hair out, just like,
That could get complicated.
yeah, cause you need to wait
Yes.
until, you know, Darren needs to wait until you guys submit your bids.
right.
Yes.
Before he knows how much of a grant you're gonna be eligible for, so
Right.
he's not gonna know how many people to activate, well, after the initial 20.
And,
Until later.
and that's a good point, that's something that I had intended to talk to my board about, is something like, okay, can we get a number of recipients?
Right.
Because this is going to be an undertaking for me to work through the
Mhm.
numbers and try and get to that 100.
Right.
And whether we go a little below, a little over, I'm sure over. You know, once we get to that final number, that'll remain to be seen, but that is something that I've been thinking about for next year, because as I'm going through it and kind of learning it and understanding the program and putting it together, I'm going, okay, wait, how's this gonna work? And, you know, we had already kind of gone through and approved the 100,000, so, yes, that is a concern of mine, but I think we'll be able to work it out, at least for this year, and then we'll see how we do.
Yeah,
next
and
year.
that's how we did develop our budget amount, was based on kind of what the average has been for the grants, and then making assumptions.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And knowing that it's gonna fluctuate from year to year.
Yeah.
Right.
And it has, but we just, you know, but yeah, anyway, for what it's worth, so that's great that you're gonna you are gonna be able to activate people from the wait list.
Right.
Mhm.
Definitely.
Cause there's no way that 20 people are gonna have a $20,000 project.
No.
And that's, you know, that was my thought initially, was that's gonna be a hard number to reach for these 20 people, but
Mhm.
there's no requirement to do so, so we'll just kind of work through as people, as these numbers come, we can kind of sketch it out a little better. So.
Good
You know,
news for the
and
people on the wait list.
Yes.
My fellow HRA members are gonna be very flexible on that as well.
Yeah, I would think so.
You know, this being our first venture.
Right.
Are you ready, sir?
Yes, number 31 on the wait list.
921 Park Street. $617 Tyler Street. $3259 15th Avenue. Did you get it?
Yep.
Okay. 1242 Oakview Court. $419 Harrison Street. $3932 10th Avenue. $121 Gray Street. $3537 Rum River Drive. $2512 Mill Avenue. And 1033 South Street.
All right, thank you, Dave.
There's the next 10.
So that is through 40, and we'll do an additional 10. I did want to mention one thing as far as the folks that are applying and they're looking at doing some landscaping. That is an eligible cost under the grant program, and the city is going to pay whatever remaining cost above $25 for folks that want to have a landscape architect come out and consult them on kind of what the yard's going to look like, kind of how things are going to be laid out, what you know, flowers and plants to use, that kind of thing. So it is only a $25 cost to the homeowner, anything beyond that, the city will pay. So I did want to mention that, and we have the information that'll be coming out to the folks, but yeah, we do have a landscape architect that we're working with who was referred with high praise from City of Coon Rapids, so that is one thing I just wanted to mention to the folks at home.
And I will mention
I'm
that,
sorry.
oh, no.
No, no, go ahead,
This is,
please.
we're all kind of ad-libbing this, by the
Yeah.
way. I know, I was just gonna say in terms of, because I think our eligible project list is identical.
Yeah, the board wanted to add exterior lighting
Okay.
for.
And we do actually consider exterior lighting as
Okay,
well.
yeah, and that was one thing that we added. Other than that, we kind of went through and compared what, they might have in mind for curb appeal and what, what we were thinking versus what the city of Coon Rapids has listed as eligible improvements for the grant. And really exterior lighting was the one that they definitely wanted to make sure that was added to that list. But,
Yeah, I mean, it's all about just increasing curb appeal. So for, whatever projects can be seen from the street, obviously corner lots normally have an advantage because they have two streets.
yes.
At least in Coon Rapids, you can clarify, Darren, if this is the case in Anoka as well, but, for instance, if somebody is doing the siding on the front of their house, we will include the whole bid for the whole house, not just the front of the house.
Correct. Yeah, we don't want houses with the front of their house red in the back,
Right.
pink.
I know that sometimes has been a question from the applicants for our program as well. Can I only do windows on the front of my house, or can I only do siding on the front of my house? I'm like, well, no, by all means, do the whole thing, but you need to be doing the front of the house, the part that is visible, the part that does increase curb appeal that other people notice. So, yeah, so just as clarification. Also, just as a FYI, before we go into your last 10 waitlist addresses, through this program, I mean, the befores and afters, the photos that we've gotten as a result of this have been just so fun to see, and and even just the impact it's had on the communities and the attention it gets from neighbors and, people calling and asking, well, I saw that, that they're going through this program and what, how can I be part of that? But, I mean, driveways, patios, stone brick shakes on the front of a house, siding, windows, roofing, landscaping, tree removal, is that eligible for you guys too?
Yep, absolutely.
Because tree removal and tree trimming can make a huge impact.
Yes.
Yes, it
On,
can.
especially some of these older homes. Again, it's pretty much any sort of exterior improvement to your house is eligible as long as, part of it is from the front of the house. But yeah, I think driveways have been our #1, most popular project. It's a big ticket item, and if someone
It
can get
is.
25% off, basically, it makes, but yeah, just the before and afters, even just for driveways alone, have really increased curb appeal at our houses.
Right. Yeah, I'm excited to see our before and afters, because I'll definitely be going out to each of the
Oh, I'm sure.
houses, making sure we get that before and coming out after the project's done. So, yeah, that'll be really cool. I'm excited to kind of present that to the board after, they've really been supportive of this program right when I brought it to them, and I think that'll be a nice visual representation of the improvements that we're making with these funds.
Absolutely.
Dave?
Okay, the last 10.
Yep.
956 Cross Street. (2402) North Ferry Street. (2549) 11th Avenue. (1908) 6th Avenue. (3760) Chase Avenue. 3760 Chase Avenue. (1017) Jefferson Street. (1222) 7th Avenue.
3 more.
$757 Park Street. $2828 9th Avenue.
Are you nervous? Pulling the last one?
And the last one on the waiting list.
116 Gray Street.
All right.
If my memory's right, we've had 2 on Gray Street.
Yes, 2 on Jefferson. I think there's a couple of.
My old high school principal brain isn't quite dead yet.
Well, yeah, so that wraps that. So we did the initial 20 who were chosen, and an additional 30 for the waiting list. And next steps, basically, I'm gonna alert everyone kind of where they fell on the list, and if they were awarded. So basically from there, we're gonna go ahead and take bids from you guys. So everyone just needs to go out, get their bids, get those in by June 17th. And if it's material list, if you're doing the work yourself, you can also submit that, but also the bids from any contractors, and those can be sent to me by email. After that, apply for permits and get the grant award certificate signed, and yeah, we'll go from there. So
Darren, what about the people who were not selected?
So,
do you have
people
other
who-
options?
yes, thank you for mentioning that. And actually, those folks will all be getting a flyer with a list of our current loan programs that the HRA offers through the Center for Energy and Environment. Our information for just kind of a quick blurb on a flyer of each of our programs. They're all 0%, and folks can definitely call Center for Energy and Environment. And I encourage that, actually. You know, they're great programs, and we've actually had quite a few people taking us up on those this year already. But those can be used not only for if you weren't chosen, but also if you were chosen and you wanted to match those funds. You know, this is a 25% grant, but that other 75% you might not have laying around. So we can help with that also. So that information is going to be listed not only in the folks that were awarded, but also the ones who were not chosen. So anybody that has any more questions can check the HRA City of Anoka HRA website or give me a call, 763-576-2724, or stop in at City Hall, whichever.
And did you say that they're all at 0%?
Yes. Yes.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
That's better than Coon Rapids.
Right, so I think that's it. I think we'll, if you have any questions, again, please reach out. Folks will be getting notifications here on where they stand with the grant program, and we'll take it from there. But appreciate it.
And
Thank you
again,
for
another
coming.
big thanks to Kristen and
And thank
the Coon Rapids staff
Yes.
involved with it. It's been a big, big help.
Huge help.
To say the least.
Yes.
Well, in whatever ways I can help, I like to,
Thank
you
you.
know, just kind of extend and try to help out other cities.
Mhm.
I have some background before Coon Rapids in program development in these housing programs, so I like I said, to help out and make sure that we're doing what we can, you know, regionally
Mhm.
to make improvements to our aging housing stock, and this is a great way of doing it, is through this program.
Cool. Well, thank you. Thank you both, and have a good day.